game time here. Les,
Yes.
Kevin, more tech from UTEC IT. I don't know why do I like saying Les Kevin?
I don't know, but
I know people appreciate it. So, anyways, hey, we got a great guest today. We're excited. In from DC area, we've got Jeff Alexander from SHARP Electronics Corp, and he's our national account manager. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, good morning. Welcome. Thanks for having me.
yeah. So Jeff, why don't you give us a little bit, or for our audience, a little bit of your background, who you are, and what your role is with SHARP?
Sure. My name is Jeff Alexander. I'm the Director of Government and National Accounts for SHARP. I have a team. We manage everything in the eastern United States. That's from the Mississippi over. We cover all governmental, municipalities, anybody that uses tax dollars to operate. And also we cover national and local major accounts. So our job is to make sure that we work with people like UTEC
Yeah,
to do a good job there.
that's fantastic. So why don't you actually, Kevin, why don't we start out? How did you guys meet? I mean, how do you know each other?
Well, we never met, but we have a common root area. We both worked for Danka at one point, didn't we? Right? So that's
we did,
where we
actually
cut our teeth and
yeah.
got into this business. And as I've said before, we had no talent, so we couldn't get out of this line of work, and we just stayed in it and tried to do the best we can. But no, Jeff called on us, right? Came over with a new assignment with SHARP, and it came in, and we were pleasantly surprised with the support and work we've had from Jeff, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. So first time I came in, you guys are definitely different. You do a great job on all aspects of this business. So it's been a great
since we've
relationship.
met, I've been pretty impressed with your follow up and how your team works with us. It's been a good relationship, right? So talk a little bit about your specific role with UTEC and some of the things you do to help us with maybe the larger national accounts, that you'd mentioned.
Yeah. So first of all, I think UTEC is positioned nicely in that space. You guys cover managed IT, you cover printers, copiers, output devices, multifunctional devices, but you understand the whole infrastructure. So my team gets involved really to work with you to make sure that, let's say it's an account that's based here, but you have offices in other locations. We work with you to make sure that we have the right team together to service all of them. So anyway, yeah. So we, our job is to make sure that you have the tools that you need to do that. We also provide direct support. We have team members that can come in, work with you, work with the account to make sure that we give them what they need, both locally within your area as well as in other areas of the U.S.
Yeah, I think that's a huge asset for organizations like us, because we're in the field, we're meeting prospects and current customers, and they're opening new offices or they're expanding and they need coverage, and it gives us an avenue where we can work with a client and develop a solution and support it nationwide without UTEC itself being nationwide.
No, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And you do quite a bit of that business already today. I think we work together on it. So
Right.
Yeah, and I think people say major accounts, and I always laugh at that phrase, major accounts. Well, what's a major account? Every account is major, right, when you get the order signed. But I think we always try to attack it as a strategic account, right? And by strategic, we mean accounts that are looking for partnerships, that want technology, see technology as an investment, right? And they they're looking for service. It's not transactional. It's not about price. I mean, price is always there, but we call it value. But all these other things have to come before we even talk about price. Is it the support? Is it, getting out to service them? Is it bringing products that meet the needs versus just trying to sell them what's in the back of the warehouse, right?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I think today's environment is a lot different than it was 10 years ago. I think in today's world, that multifunction device or that printer is really just an on-ramp to the network. We were talking earlier that if you go back 20 years ago, email was great. People all received email, but every email got printed 6, 8, 10 times. And then they would carry it in a folder and read it. Today, we laugh at that, but today you might scan an image and that image may never get printed. So it's about the distributed image.
Actually, if you go back before the email, how many of you guys remember the box? Everybody had a cubby hole.
Yep.
And you'd have a memo in it, rolled up to fit in there. So there was, 30 times 2 prints, and then it went to email, and people printed the email. Now it's digital.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so how is Sharp positioning itself? There's some very unique things about your product. So if you could speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, absolutely. At Sharp, we believe in more of a connected office and a total office approach. And I think if you look at Sharp as a company, although we've been around for a very long time, we're one of the originals in this industry. I mean, Sharp was because we made the first mechanical pencil. That's how far back we go. Today, we've grown up. Today, we're really all about that connected office environment and how everything intertwines. So if you look at all of our devices connect to a network, just like if it was a laptop or a server. You can scan an image, and it's going to automatically scan to Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and save off to whatever shared drive you have available to you. From an IT perspective, most companies today that are multi-office and multi-location, they still have an IT department that sees everything. All of the Sharp devices are going to connect up to the network, just like it's a laptop. It's going to allow them grasp and control and understanding and being able to see all of those devices everywhere they are.
Yeah. So let's play a game of what if. Let's say I have an office, I don't know, a couple hundred employees here in Southeast Michigan, 13, 15, 20 states, whatever, and I need to manage the remote offices and the local offices, the MFPs.
Mm-hmm.
What's I guess why Sharp in that environment over maybe another manufacturer in terms of the management of the device?
Oh, thanks. Thanks for queuing that up. That's perfect, actually. All of our devices are Active Directory compliant through Microsoft. They also connect out to the G Suite. But through Active Directory, you can manage those devices just like it was another computer product. It allows the IT department to set group policy, push that group policy down to the device. When you get a new employee, no matter what location they're in, when you add them to Microsoft and say, hey, this is a new employee, if it's badge access or PIN code, you can set that up as well. It automatically permeates down to all of the devices. So they would go up, they would scan in, they would see their name, they would see their folders on the network, they would see their things. When they scan to email, it emails from their sent items folder. In addition to all of that, we offer a product called Remote Device Manager. It's a fleet management tool for the IT professional, and it allows them to see all of the connected devices from a single sheet of glass on their desktop. And
No
that's
middleware?
in the pardon, sir? Yes, sir.
No middleware?
No middleware at all. This is a direct connect. There's no third-party software necessary, and it really makes for a much easier experience. Our thing is we know that the IT professionals don't want to have to fix everything, but you absolutely need to know what's happening on your network, what's happening with those devices. You can double-click on an icon, take a look at the front panel. You can diagnose the machine. Red, yellow, green. Green, everything's working fine. Yellow, there might be something happening. All the way down to managing firmware updates, software updates, and those types of things that are going to go onto the machines on a daily basis.
So the end user, basically you're giving a single point of reference
Mm-hmm.
for IT to manage the devices, and as long as it's on the network,
Yes, sir.
and as long as it can be seen,
Mm-hmm.
and no middleware.
No, sir.
No, sir. All right. That's a differentiator.
Yeah, it makes it much easier. Something as simple as changing passwords.
Mm-hmm.
Just go into AD, change the password, hit a button, permeates down to all the devices at the same time.
One other. So a lot of the news today is all around cybersecurity, malware,
Mm-hmm.
threats. So you say the device is like a computer and it can be managed, right?
Yes, sir.
And we all agree. So is this now another device that's vulnerable?
It is a device that's vulnerable. However, I think if you go out to the National Vulnerabilities Database, take a look at devices that have been hacked and been looked into on, you'll find that we're very, very secure. Mm-hmm. I don't know of anybody that's less than us. And the last time I checked, you have to go back many, many years to find a Sharp MFP or other connected device listed. Also, all of our devices come with a security suite embedded native to the device. Everything.
Such as?
So the device actually has the ability to whitelist. We run an operating system that is firmware based. Everybody else in the industry besides us, except for one, uses a Windows based kernel, and the other one is Linux based. Those are all open market products. People have access to them all the time. Sharp's firmware does not. The devices also have the ability to check themselves. If the device sees that something is inside the device that it shouldn't be, the device will take a picture of everything connected to it, shut down, boot back up, and send a notification to IT that, hey, there was a problem, we've shut down, we're operating fine again, but this is what it looked like.
So when it reboots, right? So let's say it identifies, hey, I'm not healthy, there's something that's different here. So when it reboots, is it rebooting in the same state it was when it?
Oh, not at all. It actually reverts back to a clean set of data and starts fresh again.
Okay. So the threat is nullified.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's very unique. The whitelisting. What's a scenario where that would?
So in a lot of environments, you may only want your device to connect to certain IP addresses. So you whitelist those IP addresses. This is the only place that this device can connect. That keeps anything from happening.
Perfect. Kevin, you got a question on that?
I'll go pretty deep in whitelisting, but I don't want to bore everybody listening at this moment. But no, I was going to say from the beauty, I think, of the relationship with Sharp and how Sharp's attacked this is that a lot of manufacturers, you have to go to their direct branch for service on that, and it loses the importance down there at that level. And I think our strength is we're set up as independent dealers. Really, is a network of Sharp. They have some branches, but as an independent dealer, you help quarterback that, and we all have a stake in the game and taking care of these strategic accounts for the guys, right? So if I send one out to DC, or if I send one down to Tampa, Florida, Dallas, or LA, I know that my dealer counterparts over there are going to treat that as an important account because we're working with them, right? They know that we're doing the same thing for their accounts here, and we got to make sure we take care of that. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, all of the service departments become certified, and we have varying levels. So platinum certification being the ultimate. So we know that you're on top of everything. All of your techs are trained, and there's continuous training from Sharp. There's also oversight. So if you did have a Tampa location, so there was ever to be an issue, you could let us know. We have a field service rep from Sharp that could physically look in on it as well. So we make sure that account is taken care of, regardless of which dealer it is. There is some partnership there to make sure that all of our customers are happy.
Yeah, and I think that service revenue goes to the independent dealer that's servicing those accounts. So it's just as important to them.
Oh yeah.
Once that gets installed as it is us. So from a service standpoint, it makes it they're invested in that deal just like we are. Where if you have a branch, that branch guy doesn't get any credit for it. It all goes back to the mothership, and he wants to make sure he keeps his onesie twosie accounts happy, right?
Right, absolutely. And we have a partnership there as well. So whether it's a branch or a dealer location, our goal is to make sure that the service becomes seamless.
Yeah, I think that's important. Because you're going to run across major accounts, named accounts, whatever you want to call them. But let's say accounts that are in a multi-state scenario, and they're going to want they don't want to call 10 different numbers, for service. They want to have a program built for them. And so that program that you have, I think, is important. The other thing is, with having multiple dealers, if you will, in a marketplace, there's also, I don't want to say this, there's a competitiveness where the independent dealers got to maintain.
Oh,
Otherwise,
absolutely.
They could lose the business to their competitor in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of dynamics there.
You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. I think UTEC's done a very good job in that regard as well. I think
what are we, double
overall
diamond
customer
with
service.
platinum trim
trim
around it, right? Is that what we are for service? I don't know.
Hey, here's something. If you had to throw a percentage, what percentage of dealers are platinum? If you could you guess? I mean, I don't know.
20%.
20%. So how long have we been a platinum dealer?
I think since they introduced the program, and I know we've had it. I had the dealership 13 years now, and I think it's been 12 of the 13 that they've had the program. So, but it's good. No, and I like because Jeff comes in and you'll review with us. You'll come in, and it's not just about the sales calls, but you'll come in and you'll pull the devices we're servicing for other dealers and look at our response times with us and parts calls and timeliness of that. So there's an accountability that you got a tough job because you got to go out and sell stuff, but you also got to keep us accountable, right?
Absolutely, but we're also beholden to that end user. I mean, so those accounts really are what make us great. We want to make sure that we're Johnny on the spot if there's ever a question or a need. And again, I think the partnership becomes invaluable at that point. It's great to know that you can count on the people that you work with.
And we encourage all our reps, right, Les, to take Jeff out there because he'll make all the promises. We can make him keep them, right?
Yep.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, so our industry, you opened up and you were talking about the migration from print to digital, and it's further going down that path. So there's a lot of industry speculation, I guess, about the output, the future of output. And so financial backing from the manufacturer, I think, is a topic when somebody is selecting a vendor. So can you just give us the story of 2016 SHARP, the percentage with Foxconn?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who Foxconn is, the financial backing.
So SHARP is backed by, there's a company called Foxconn. They're the largest producer of consumer electronics in the world, and they own over 60% of the company. I believe it's 66% today. Because of that relationship, it gives us access to things that other manufacturers just don't have. Working relationship with Microsoft, new software and technologies that are available. Even today, we're shipping product that others just can't get. So it makes a big difference in that. It also means a lot to know that we have a partner that's in this business, but they're in a lot of businesses all centered around electronics, and they have a forward-looking outlook on the industry. Where are we headed? Not necessarily where have we been. So, anytime we talk to a potential account or a potential customer, one of the things that comes out at first is, what is your technology plan? Where do you see your environment 3, 4, 5, 7 years from now? And things and decisions that you make today are going to impact the scalability and how you're going to be able to be there tomorrow. And that's really the point that we try and make when we look at why SHARP and why companies like UTEC and what that partnership looks like.
Well, yeah, because SHARP's peeking around the corner through the benefit of a relationship with Foxconn at the technology is coming down, right? And we're positioning ourselves to meet that down the road.
Yeah, I think that's, especially in today's economy with the chip shortage, the decline in print. I think it's important to have that kind of backing, and for our clients too, to know that there's a pretty large hand behind the machine, so to speak, the levers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because we've been a couple industry gatherings here, and Mike Maruzik, CEO of SHARP, gets to jump up there and pound his chest and say, "We got product to ship," right? And we're one of one that has product to ship. Now we're all even playing ground. We had to put it on a boat, right? We're all constrained with those problems, but SHARP does have product to ship right now and supplies, and that's a great thing.
It absolutely is, and also it's important to look at during the pandemic when a lot of companies laid off tremendous volumes of people and a lot of companies saw a big downturn. SHARP actually grew. Our market share grew drastically throughout the pandemic. We stressed and stressed our partnership with our dealers, making sure that community was had the things that they needed to be able to operate and run efficiently. And what could SHARP do to help out?
Well, SHARP also took, and I don't think Mike gets enough credit from this, and came from the top there. They also took the attitude that, look, guys, we're going to be with you on this. Don't worry about trying to buy to meet year-end quotas there. When it first went into lockdown and throughout the pandemic, they were just saying, be smart with your inventory. We've got products, so don't do the panic buying. Make sure you buy for what you need, manage your cash flow. There was a lot of conference calls we had with that, right, about preserving cash flow working through the program. We didn't lay people off. We could still call you guys. Now, you guys weren't traveling to come see us, but you were working remotely with us every day and
Absolutely.
having calls and following up with customers, how you could support them. So it was a great tone, I think, taken from the top that was different than some of the other manufacturers I've heard of from partners.
Yeah, absolutely was. And, the at the top of SHARP, Mike Marusik and company have just done a great job of steering and keeping us on the right track and keeping us on the growth. So.
And if we say his name 3 more times, we'll reach the quota where we get the plug for that, right? Mike Marusik, Mike Marusik, Mike Marusik. All right, so we've got that covered. Now, what else?
I think you get the coaster set and
yeah, 5% rebates on everything for the next hour we buy, right?
Don't know about that one, but sure.
So, what else would be important if I'm somebody listening to that out there and I'm looking at my fleet and I'm looking at SHARP versus somebody else? What would be some other things that you would encourage the consumer or the customer to look at and think about?
So really look at technology-wise where you're headed. Understand what it means is Microsoft moves from Windows 10 to Windows 11, migrating to the cloud. A lot of things that you do today may not connect in the same way. There's a huge groundswell coming up of older devices that don't have the right certification to connect. So you need to understand what that looks like and what that means for your office. But you also want to take a look at your partners and your providers. You may have a managed services provider and you may have an output device or an MFP provider, but do those two companies really know what each other does? Do they talk? If you don't, then I would suggest you take a look, find a new provider that does speak the same language, because that's going to put your company in the best light and allow you to scale quickly, make the moves that you need to make, and have that partner that truly is a partner and not somebody that just wants to sell you something. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're, we always ask, what's a major account? Well, a major account is somebody that has a scope and a need beyond just a local office environment with 2 or 3 people in the office. And so if you don't have that partner that you feel like is a partner for you, I would suggest you reach out.
Nice. That's a great summary.
Yeah. So what anything coming down, we talked about the connected office. Anything else you see or hearing coming down? We've got products from the small tabletops up to the big production print. We've got Aquas boards, the interactive display boards, mm-hmm. All the software and the connectors to make all this magic work. What else is out there? Is there anything?
Oh, so we have a great, thanks for the segue. SHARP bought a laptop company a couple of years ago, so we have Dynabooks that are now available. That's really allowing us to come into an office environment and truly understand everything happening. Those products are available from you. We have that. We have a large display group. We've recently acquired NEC Display as well. Mm-hmm. And that's, you talked about Aquas boards, the multi-touch displays. We have a Windows collaboration display, which is, it's a truly unique meeting room environment. It creates an excellent environment for that. It has all of the sensor array built in to talk to Microsoft Azure. It measures oxygen levels in the room, humidity, has the ability for full functionality. We even have services, software solutions that would allow people to become a presenter and those types of things without being a part of your network. Sphere of influence in the office through Synapse, so great software product. All of that really just centers around a connected office environment.
Hey, real quick, you mentioned the Dynabooks. I don't think that gets enough play. I know we've been selling a lot of those, and it's a great, and it's funny how light they are. Some people don't even think that they work, because they're so light. But
it feels like a prop sometimes.
Yeah. Talk about the indestructibility of those things. You get the right model and how well those have been doing for SHARP.
Oh, they've been doing great. I've actually carried one for the last 2 years since we made the move. It works very, very well. I think I've bounced mine off of a couple of airplanes, and no.
That's because you always get the wing seat, right?
That's me, right? I'm on the wing, not inside. But knock on wood, no issues, and really just a very durable, very long-lasting product. And they're available off the shelf as well as custom configuration, custom flashed.
Yeah, I've had nothing but a positive experience with them.
Nice.
Well, before we go here, that's what the part of the show where everybody likes because it means the end. But We always ask everybody, what's your favorite flavor of bourbon? Now, listen, I enjoy a bourbon, and if you had to go grab something right now, what would you reach for?
Oh gosh. So this is Old Elk. It's very, very good. It's got a great nose. My typical go-to on a daily basis is a small micro distillery down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's a Chattanooga whiskey,
Okay.
and it's a 99% rye. But unlike other ryes, it's extremely flavorful and very smooth.
Wonderful. Well, hey, Jeff, I appreciate your support. I appreciate all your hard work to help make us better. And thank you for coming on today. And
Hey, thank you
cheers.
very much for having me.
Thanks, Jeff.
And
Good.
thanks.